right, good morning. All right, YouTubes. I'm waiting here for my customer to show up. I'm a little bit early finishing my coffee. I kind of like to do that sometimes, and then my brain gets thinking about things. So the other day I was at the parts house picking up some refrigerant, and I bought a jug of 404, and the price in my area is about 360 bucks now. But the price for 448A is about $50 cheaper now. And I got to thinking, I'm like, where do I have 407C, for refrigeration? And I had put 407C in all those old R22 boxes that were out there, mostly walk-in coolers. I don't need to buy 407C anymore. I was using 407C because it was cheap, right? A great replacement for R22, low price. But now 448A is cheaper than 407C. What's neat about 448A is the more I dig into it is everywhere I have 407C, I could drop in the 448A. Most of those already have R22 TXVs. But at the beginning of 448A, we had been using it with 404 TXVs. You might be able to drop in 448A where there is 404A systems. Now, I might be able to get away with it where I'm at because, again, I have low ambience in summertime. I'm not hitting 100, 105 degrees in summertime. We barely hit 90 degrees this summer. So, the little screenshot I'll put down is from Honeywell. It's, the 448A has the glide and the skid and the crash and the burn. It's a little more than it has more of a glide than 404 does. But I'm not worried about it. If you set your superheat correctly and you check it at the TXV and at your compressor and you set it properly, you should get enough cooling back to the compressor. The main thing you're trying not to do is lose efficiency and not overheat your compressor or flood back your compressor. And I'm pretty sure I could get down to just I can get rid of 407 off the van and 404 off the van and just run 448A now that it's cheaper than both of those refrigerants. And I just wanted to mention that in this video as we get in there. We're gonna change this TXV out on this box today. And hindsight's 2020. I'm gonna go back with 404 on this one today. I should have gotten an expansion valve for the 448A is what I should have done, and I should have switched this box over. And I whiffed on that one. So we'll go back with the 404 today. But I think going forward, I'm just gonna purchase one refrigerant back on the truck other than the 410 until they get rid of that here in the next couple years. So I thought I would just chat about that for a minute before we get in here and get cracking. Seeing that the average here temperature between the bubble point and the dew point at 51 PSI on your gauge is going to give you 20 degrees for when you set your superheat. And then this is just letting you know what's up with the glide, what can happen. All right, I got my ladder in here. I might just take this grill out and just start shoving my gear through there instead of crawling all the way around and crushing ductwork. Ooh, she's a mess today. We're gonna need the nerd for sure. Get some nerd going. I'm just getting stuff in through here. I'm on my ladder. Then I'll just take it and put it in through here. I took the grill off. All right, we're up here, going for it. The first thing I did is I started peeling away some of the insulation. For you young techs, this is a no-no. Do not put your TXV bulb on the bottom of your suction line. You wanted it up here, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. On small pipe, it might even go on top. And so you don't want to do that for sure. That is heads up there. Okay, I got that side panel off. You can get to your controls, contactor, store components. Here's the TXV that's coming out, and then see, there's that location. One strapper special. Let's get that out of there. All right, I'm getting ready for my recovery. I like to weigh it out. I just want to know what was in there. I'm just curious. It's not a big deal, and let's let it rip. I'm gonna suck through the high side, and we'll start pulling the gas out, and we'll see how much charge was in this system. All right, I got my flux on the joints, my little flux trick, so they come out clean. I got a wet rag under there so I don't melt wires and whatnot. And we'll go ahead and sweat this out first, and then we'll sweat the dryer out over there next. So the old valve was a straight through valve. This one is a 90. That's all they had at the parts house. Those two are gonna fit up nice, and that'll give us a good connection for a TXV adjustment right there. And if we ever had to change the power head, and if we ever had to clean the screen. This one has a screen, inlet screen. This one did not. It's the old Sporlan. Today we installed the Emerson. This is the Emerson we put in. You had stainless steel power head. So I think I'm gonna make a little loop piece that probably comes up, goes over, loops around, and comes back. And try and keep the area for the TXV adjustment accessible. I got a little carried away with my bend. It's all one piece with the swedge on the end. I didn't want to disturb that solenoid valve, so that's why I bent that piece up. Yeah, not the best bend, but effective, Let's get this valve wrapped up, and we can braze this all in. Radio Romanticos. That's what they were talking about. Come on, do the little dance in your pants. Here you go. A little bit more. Okay. It's not flowing like I want it to. That's a little better. was our nitrogen purge. We got them both sweated in. The TXV, and there's the dryer down there. I actually put some of that goop on there so I didn't do my patented move and burn up the dryer. So we can get that cleaned up. And now we're ready for a nitrogen pressure test. Let's see what we get here. We'll fill her up and give her the old pressure test. All right, let's see what we got. We'll let it equalize out. So we're almost at 152. We'll let it settle for a second. And then I'll start the deviation test and we'll start cleaning stuff up. Hook up the TXV bulb, clean off the dryer, get everything ready for a vacuum. All right, let's go through and check all my work in this valve with the soap bubbles. I already sprayed the dryer, you know, so I can just check my work. What's up, everybody? All right, I made it outside to the back of the van. Look, I'm gonna do a little cleanup before I get out of here, but let's take a look at this. I got the valve taken apart to show you guys what happens. This is the needle. It's full of crap and crusty. You can see the tip of it. They just get cooked. And that's the needle. You can see there's some of the scuzz on the spring. We're just getting started here. I'll grab the needle nose to pull out the push rods to show you how dirty they get. There's the inside. And it just gets that black, waxy sludge burn up from hell. And what happens is then the push rods can't move and they get stuck. And then the valve is running, you know, restricted. And what's interesting is, you know, and then it can no longer self-adjust, is, dude, you're not going to put some chemical in there to clean all this stuff out. You either got to physically take it all apart and clean it. It'll probably work again if you did a real good job. But just, you know, you just replace the valve. I'll grab the needle nose and see if we can pull the push rods out. And if not, we'll go ahead and take the power head off of here also. There's the power head off. Here's the inside. So that part doesn't look bad. This is where all the nastiness is. All right, see the black stuff on there on the push rod? If I'd had a camera mount to hold the camera, I had to forcibly pull these out of there because they were stuck, if that makes sense for you guys. And then that's the stuff that gets on the push rods and they stick through the valve body right there. Where they go through the valve body, see the two openings? And then they stick in there. And they're little guides with that black crust. Oh yeah, did we get some sunlight on that one? Almost. My big head's in the way. Yeah. They just get cookered. And the best thing to do, it gets to that point, just change it out. I mean, if you didn't have parts and you had to unsweat it and clean it all out, yeah, you might get by. Might get by. But I just go ahead and replace them. If they get stuck right in there, then they no longer move. She's a crusty dog. All right, there it is. I got the bulb mounted. I have to wrap that bulb still with insulation tape. You want to make sure that your cap tube for your power head's not rubbing on nothing. If it rubs and has a Mr. Rubber Dooski and goes through, then it won't feed. And I still got to get that crap off the dryer. It looks like our pressure test is holding 151.8, 37 minutes. So that's good. We can get this thing going on the vacuum. All right, I got the unit on the vacuum pump. I am pulling a vacuum through my manifold set. Some of you can freak out about that or not. That's fine. I've about had it enough with the core tube removal tools leaking and whatnot. And dude, I'm pulling it through the 550s. It'll be fine. I got the back of the van cleaned up. I am going to head over to Home Depot. I had some great comments from the last video when we troubleshot this unit. Some about ducting it to the intake. The intake's too small to make a transition. I'm going to get a box fan. One of the commenters, I'm sorry I can't remember your name. I should go back and read it and give you some props. Maybe we'll do that on a live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna get a box fan and put it up there, and I'm also gonna get an offset with a little single gang box and a receptacle and hardwire it in there for the future, so that there will be electrical for service on that unit in the future. Right now I'm using my alligator jumper power cord. So let's head over to the Homeless Depot and get some parts while we're on the vacuum pump. I scored a box fan, Home Depot's, and I'm going to add this receptacle up there. I got a junction box with an offset. Went ahead and added the plug up here, so we don't have to use the jumper cord anymore, and we'll have a nice outlet here for service. And we'll be able to plug in this box fan, bring some air into this area to help cool this off. I got the fan hooked up. I'm going to end up hanging it up here where the intake is when it's all said and done. But let's go ahead and weigh in our 53 ounces. What's cool about this little LE-Tech scale, it'll do ounces all the way up. So everything's purged. I had pulled the vacuum through the manifold. The hose has a ball valve at the end. I only have to purge a tiny bit. Let's go ahead and weigh in our 53 ounces. Through the high side. And we'll see where we get. All right, there it is, 53 ounces of the goodness. And then we'll be ready to fire this thing off and see how she does. We got the iPad up here so we can get some probes and whatnot and check a few things out. I am going to grab the temperature sensor so we can check compressor superheat. There's really no fitting for the to really check the TXV superheat other than putting temperature probes on in and out and do it old school. All right, I got it plugged in. I got the fan off to the side right now so I can get gear down. So, all right, here we go. We're going to fire her off. Let her run for a bit. All right, we'll let this run for a bit. She's gonna pull like a champ. Grab my gear, get the fan, get up here. You'll see the compressor superheats right in there, 23 degrees. That's our head pressure, suction pressure, condensing temperature, evaporator temperature. I got the fan here, open out a ton. Moving some air around. All right, that was the old change out of the TXV. That box is back to cooling good again. The valve was all gummed up. Working up in the attic, I did stick a little box fan up in there, and it does help it a little bit. It's that's a terrible place to put a condensing unit, but hey. Maybe in the future, if they get some air conditioning in that store, they could run some vents up in there. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe and smash the bell to get notifications of when I post up videos. And thanks for watching. and we will catch you on the next one.